Wikipedia article and says this is largely due to Chan's. There is free speech like Gab, Infowars, and BitChute, and there is unmoderated chaos. Will pass on empowering the later. Our position was pretty clear and acceptable use. So it's just the biggest crock of bullshit I've ever seen, and I wouldn't be so hard on him, but he decided to pull the plug, and I say pull the plug. Like I have no respect for people who act like this. They're so animalistic. They get an angry email and they literally break their necks trying to course correct and appease people, and appeasement didn't work. I mean, if you ask if you ask the specific people about Churchill, or not, who was the guy, Chamberlain or something, the prime minister before Churchill, who decided to try and appease Hitler, and it didn't stop the war, and so Churchill had to. After Churchill got in, they wanted war because Chamberlain's appeasement policies didn't work. It's like that. It's like you can't constantly give people what they want at the expense of other people to stop a bad. You can't if you constantly seed things to someone, hoping to delay a problem. You're just showing that you're a pussy and that you'll give it. And I get that, it's his business and it's his money, but okay, if it's a business decision, treat it like a business decision and not like, oh fuck, I better take care of this however possible, like right fucking now. Thankfully, he called me at like midnight his time, and I asked him to let me forward the domains, and he's allowed me to do that, even though he didn't bother to put in like a Let's Encrypt certificate. So if you go to 9chan.us right now, you'll hit a SSL error. But if you do accept the certificate, it'll forward you to the new domain, which is 9chan.tw. I was 9chan.hk briefly, but what is it? That registrar didn't let me use Cloudflare, and I tried hosting with them for a little bit without Cloudflare, but I was immediately getting denial of service attacked, and I don't know if it was a DDoS or like a slow Loris attack, just occupying connections or whatever. But it was causing the site to go down intermittently. So I ended up quickly switching over to .tw with a different registrar, which did let me use my own name servers. In this case, would be Cloudflare's. And the registrars I've used is the HK is on NiceNC, which is the same one that 2chan.hk uses. And TW is with some Chinese company that I don't even think has like an English name. And that's the one that 8kun is on. So I don't know. I'm just throwing shit to the wall and seeing what sticks, because whatever. I could use the one Kiwi Farms is on, which is DreamHost is the domain registrar and the domain registrar only. But I've spoken to like their people before, and they say that image boards don't last long on DreamHost because if someone sends them a child pornography like complaint, they have to take it down. And obviously it's much easier to deal with that kind of stuff with the Kiwi Farms than it is on image boards, because you can post it and then archive it yourself and stuff. So I'm currently satisfied with the hosting situation, at least for now. We'll see. Maybe they'll take it down, maybe they won't, who knows. It is weird because the site just went up. It literally just went up, and it's already got like a mention in Vice News because of some shit with the WHO and the Bill Gates Foundation being hacked. And then after that, it got kicked off the registrar and all this shit in like less than a week. And now I'm having to deal with very angry pedophiles who are mad that the way that I've structured the rules right now is that I'm not allowing any pictures of children, period. Doesn't matter if it's like stock photography or like reaction images, or if it's like child models or candy doll, like none of that shit. I'm just like, you don't have any reason to post pictures of children on a website like this unless you're just trying to share pictures of children. And they're so angry, and they're like, I allow I do allow lolicon on boards dedicated to it, just because I think it's kind of bullshit to ban drawings. But they're angry that I say that it has to be a board specifically dedicated to it. You can't just post it anywhere you want. You can't post it on B, for instance. I'll delete that. And there's someone in my D Live chat right now saying, "Please allow lollies on B. Please allow lollies on B, you rule cuck." And he's like spastically angry. He's like, why don't you allow? Why don't you specifically cater to me? Here's a user. I want to be your user, Josh. Sure, there may be the affliction of pedophilia, and I want to jerk off to lolicon, but you gotta cater to me because that'll keep your post per hours up. And I'm like, I don't care about you. I literally would prefer, like, Mark, the guy from V on 8chan. He was adamant that if he was going to move from 8chan to 9chan, he would need specifically the board V or 9chan. He contacted me out of the blue. And he didn't just contact me out of the blue. He called me like 4 times in a row at 8 a.m. my time, like one after the other. And I answered because I'm like, who the fuck is this that's calling me? And I answered, and it was Mark, and he was trying to sort out like a bunker board for 8chan. And I'm talking to him, and his big two requests were, number one, he wanted me to allow him to have ownership of V, specifically V. It would not be okay to have Vidya. Wasn't okay to have video games. Wasn't okay to have games. It had to be V. And he was certain that I would have to promise to him that I would not interfere with his moderation of V. It would be his board. And then number two, he wanted basically unrestricted lolicon. He wanted it on V very specifically. Spoilered, he said, but that was a big sticking point. It had to be allowed, and it had to be allowed on V. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm probably not going to do that. And now he got really defensive and was like, oh, well, okay, well, let me know when your software's done, and I'll have my guys look at it, and we'll think about forking that. I'm like, fuck you, you're not going to extort me. You're not going to extort me and saying, well, I'll just make a competitor using your own software against you to make my competitor site. I'm like, fuck you, asshole. Really. And then he's like contacting me, like, what host do you use for the Kiwi Farms? I'm like, motherfucker, I host that. So if you want to host your competitor, you're going to have to use my fucking software, my fucking domain registrars, on my fucking hardware, you cocksucker. Or go find someone else. But I have a feeling that his site won't be big enough to warrant the kind of scrutiny that I have to put up with anyways. But I mean, I don't know. His big thing is allowing lollies, which is my thing. It's like, if you want to go post lolicon, go do it like on any other site. There's the one that the fucking BitChute guys host. They host like their own image board, and because they're weird, man. I don't know. I wouldn't post on that site, but they do allow lolicons. I was like, if you want to go post lolicon, go post it there. And for some reason, that's not okay. It's like, I can't go to a different site to post and get what I want. It has to be this one. Like, why does it have to be this one? And they can't come up with a reason. They always default to like this position of, oh, well, it's free speech. It's like, maybe I don't really care. I'm not persuaded by that argument, because it's like drawings and pictures and shit that has no political statements, just pornography. And I don't know. I suppose in some context, I mean, it is technically art, but I don't know. The main reason why I don't want to ban it outright is because it's so hard to moderate. Like, how do you moderate lolicon when, even like moderating Asian porn would be a nightmare. They all look like children. If you shave the bush off, they look like kids. Asian women are like really, really creepy and gross to me. I think that's not like a racist statement. That's just the truth. So, to make my life easier, I kind of say whatever, as long as it's on this board, and I don't have to look at it. I don't give a shit. That's that's my position on that. But the whole angry pedophiles like protesting by posting child pornography, saying, "Let us post little girl threads, or we're gonna keep posting child porn." Like, no, I'm not gonna. I would rather just close the site than give you what you want, which is probably what they do want. To be honest, is they want to. The way I feel, the way I've thought about it for a while, and I think that the reason that spurs this on is like they feel that they're being deprived of their free expression because they can't post the pornography that they're into. So any site that gives other people what they want also must cater to them, or it must be, must be taken down. You know what I mean? It's like a Samsung option. Like when how Israel says that if they're going to get invaded and capitulated, they're going to start nuking the West to force the West to protect them and save them from being attacked. It's like that. You have to protect us, or we're going to take you down with us. And it's like, no, not really. Not going to do that. So, and the whole Vice thing, and then people are like, I'm doing this woman saying, "Oh, I'm gonna do this opinion piece on the kiwi farms. If you want to contribute." How why are journos in particular like that? Or are they just like, "Oh, here's a site that I disagree with. I'm gonna call them neo Nazis or whatever." The 9chan's been around for like 2 days. How do you know it's a neo Nazi website? Because it's got nine in it. Is that too close to the German word nine? But then again, like, what's no chan? That's not like a Nazi word. I would understand if it was like Nazi chan or like Adolf chan, but it's not. It's just a number. Then close at 8chan.mo will be better. Okay, if you want to go post on your lolicon and your video game lolicon on Mark's site, go for it. I won't miss you. I don't care. But you see what I mean? It's like they say close your site and give all your users and traffic over to Mark's site because he allows lolicon. Like, why can't you just go to the one that you want to post on? I didn't have any issue with 4chan. Like when 4chan started banning me for posting, because they got that weird thing about VPNs. Like if you're posting on a VPN, they'll ban you. It's like, well, I want to post with a VPN, so I'm gonna go to different sites. It's not like I decided, oh, I have to also like post child porn on 4chan to protest with a VPN, of course, to protest the fact that I can't post with a VPN normally. That'll really show them. That'll show them that I'm in the right. Very strange. So yeah, that's the epic situation. That's the situation uh on I guess the whole site in general. I've been trying to deal with issues and also code at the same time. I'm still pushing out commits, but unfortunately, it's not the fun kind of commits that I'd want to work on. I was hoping to get a lot of user experience stuff done. Instead, I'm working on tweaking hash banning and improving moderator tools so that I can do huge sweeping changes in one click and stuff. Look at that guy. And what's funny is that the guy who's jumping out about Lolly is named Tuhu's. What is it about Tuhu specifically that attracts so many pedophiles? I firmly believe that if you like Tuhu, you are a pedophile. You are attracted to children, and very specifically, if you like the ice fairy, the Cerno, the blue one, then you're like a pedo sadist. Because I've seen so much fucked up porn of that fucking fairy being tortured. I don't even. It's not like I seek it out. It's just people love posting pictures of this fucking ice fairy getting mutilated. It's like, what the fuck what did she do? What's wrong with what did the fucking blue fairy from Tuhu do to deserve so much animosity and contempt and hatred? It's very strange. It's a very strange time, and it's very frustrating because it's like the first 2 days before the domain revocation was so nice. There were like, because I showed this before, but someone even drew like a drawing, like a tan. I'm always a big fan of art. I like fan art a lot. The background for the stream is fan art and stuff, and it's just like I don't know. I like people who put effort into stuff like that. And I don't know. And then like the third and fourth day, like the pendulum swung the other way. And I was like, well, fuck me, man, this is annoying. And the frustrating thing is that I can find moderators and stuff for dealing with moderation issues, but uh, I the real issue with the spam is that it affects the user base. Like most people don't want to see it at all. So it really does have a negative effect, not just on like hosting the site and dealing with the registrars. Like, okay, that doesn't help that, but that kind of spam, the kind of abuse material puts off people. It puts off the user base, and that's the real detriment. So I'm looking. Before it was like, okay, I want to make sure that the material stays gone when it gets deleted, with the perceptual hash banning and stuff. And now looking into it, I'm like, I need to make sure that users aren't affected by it either. So I'm having to make sure that people on, like, for right now, Tor can't upload images and they can't post threads, which and I added a delay to the front page so recent images don't show up there immediately. And those things really reduces the impact of posting it. Like, you'll at most get it in one thread at the very end of it, And but I need to make it so that when an image gets deleted perceptually, it triggers some kind of deletion, and users plugged into the WebSocket for those threads too, so that the images disappear client side. Because otherwise, I might delete the post, but then anyone watching that thread still has stuff on their screen they don't want. And it's just it's a really uphill it's a really uphill battle. And you see how angry people get. I'm not even gonna bother banning that guy because I think it's funny and it proves my point. They seethe. You tell them, no, if you want to post lolicon, it goes in the lolicon board, and you can't post children on the site. They get so angry, and it's almost like a joy. I think that people think I get really stressed out when I have to deal with stuff, but I've always found that I'm at my best when things get very difficult, because you have to buckle down. You have to kind of sort out what is and is not important. And you have to focus, and it's like a trance. It's like a meditative thing where things get hard and get pressure on you, and you're just like, okay, I have to go through, and I have to see what I can do and what has to be done first. Organizing your thoughts, taking a step back, and analyzing the situation. There's a lot, but I rarely get stressed, to a breaking point. When it's like when the Christchurch stuff happened, and all that attention was drawn into the forum because we were like the only ClearNet site hosting it for a couple, like, for 2 days, and it just happened. And all these people wanted it. Like, I stayed up for basically 2 hours during that. I did a lot to keep that up because I felt like it I don't know, because it was gone everywhere else. I felt like I had to do it, and I did it. And you do what you got to do. But then it's not really B, and it's not better than Cuckchan. Oh no, that's the that post, man. That guy has been on the forum, or not the forum, but the image board, chimping it. Like, I think that's the same guy who was angry before the image board even launched. Like, when I was on the 16chan domain, just kind of testing it out and getting it ready. There was one guy who was constantly angry in the meta thread where I was posting updates because he wanted lolicon. And it's just like, you can go anywhere for that. You can go anywhere for that shit. Why does it have to be a specific board on a specific site? And he has no answer for that. He's just blindly angry, and it's so pitiful, man. The saddest fucking shit. That guy's a Fed? Probably. Now, it's time to relax. It's time to relax and depressure. I happen to have some clips, some old standbys, just for us to watch together and enjoy. Let's see. I have these picked out for me. I was a little bit busy today, so someone was kind enough to pick me out some timestamps. Assuming my internet can handle it. Oh, Jesus, fuck.
Okay, let's try this friggin' crepe right now. Oh, crap. Okay. Oh, crap. Oh, crepe. Don't mind me. Oh, it's so chocolatey. You know you want a beauty bite of this. Come on. Beauty chocolatey bite.
Ew. That's so cringe. It's like orgasm sounds.
I need to... I don't know what to say. Except for...
Oh, Jesus, fuck. There's something something's happened with her after BB dumped her, where she is becoming very intentionally obnoxious, and like she just has cranked everything about her that was like disgusting, perverted, fetishistic, irritating, up to 11. Like she's even like the best thing about her was this intro that someone else made. Watch. Pretty decent intro. Oh, well, what's this? Her fucking cats come in. But is that all? No, because now they're wearing stupid hats. She had this intro that a fan made for her years ago, and it was a pretty good intro for her videos. It was like 10 seconds, maybe a little bit less. Perfect, nice little chip tune, nice images. And then she, at one point in the last like 6 months, started adding pictures of her cats, and then added later like images, like hats to them. It's like, why are you making everything about yourself so much worse than it needs to be? Why do you have to be so fucking annoying? Oh, I hope I don't get banned from... Maybe I do want to be banned from YouTube for this. Fuck it. Okay, so now I guess that's her Instagram. She's just like posing naked with that poor cat who wants to be nowhere near her. And she really looks like Boogie in this one, because there's that picture of Boogie where he's like on his belly and he's like a foot off the ground still, and he's just sitting there and he's making like a sexy face at the camera. That's kind of what it reminds me of. Fat people are like androgynous. Like you start losing your sexual characteristics once you're that fat. Oh, this one was I got tagged for this one too, so I saw it already. She's just like hoeing it up. She desperately needs like a man to pay attention to her that's not Pete's, because she has no respect for Pete's. I didn't know this, but Pete's is like an X-Man super fan. Like he's super into the comic books and stuff, and like his Twitter handle is like X-Man fan or something, and he knows like every detail of every alternate timeline of every comic series that's ever been made about X-Men. And when she and him were dating, and they were dating for like several years, I want to say like 5 or 6, a really long time like that, Chantal started cheating on him with BB, and he begged her not to break up with him because like he was offering to have an open relationship and allow her to have sex with other men, including BB, and he'd be okay with it as long as she didn't leave him. And now, after she cheated on him, broke up with him, married BB, lived with BB for 2 years, she breaks up with BB, and then she was right back in his house again. They're sharing an apartment where I assume he's paying most of the rent because she doesn't make any money. And she goes right back to like being a thought and not not wanting anything to do with him except having, I guess, eating with him because they do videos together. This sounds horrific. Let me make sure the volume is good for this one.
Fighting 7, marry 3.
2 numbers in 1.
This
Fake
is
fucking
so
laughing.
random. Yeah, Matchbox 20.
How long is this?
Lit.
Oh no, it's like 3 minutes.
There's gotta be more bands with numbers in them.
What's the timestamp for the...
Dave Matthews. My focus in the is dying. Killed by bands with numbers in their names.
Rusty Spoons. I'm so sorry, guys.
It's just like 3 minutes. Oh, Jesus. That was it. That was the part.
Rusty Spoons. I'm so sorry, guys.
Did you hear that? She farted in her video. What? She keeps doing this too. Like, I have to derive this information secondhand because she's eating like fucking chips and shit all the time. I can't listen to her videos anymore, but people always tag me. Thankfully, I've got a great fan base, and they always tag me when Chantal farts in the fucking video so I can watch it and be disgusted with everyone else without hearing her eat chips. And it has to be fetish content. That's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for like a day when like a fat fart fetishist who's been paying Chantal for years joins the forum angry because she stopped talking to him for whatever reason because he got too creepy or something, or he stopped paying her, so she stopped talking to him, and he just joins the site and gives all their chat logs and stuff. That would be fucking amazing. Okay, this is Amberlynn. I got like a reel of all the fat chicks, so I can unwind a bit. Oh, I forget I don't have autoplay on.
Hey y'all.
Okay, so
Hey y'all.
Amberlynn has been claiming for months the heaviest she was 573 and that she's been losing weight, but there is no fucking way that she's been losing weight. She's fat as hell. She's as fat as she's ever been. I can't, if she's losing weight, I'm not seeing it. But yeah, that's actually a really funny thing about Amberlynn is that she has like the worst body proportions ever. Like you see how she's got like a weird table butt and like a huge belly, and then she's got like a huge tit on like the area right above her elbow. But she doesn't get much of it on her face for whatever reason. You see what I mean? Like when she does like this angle, you might think, oh, she's like maybe 300 pounds, but she's twice that, and for some reason it just doesn't show up on her face. I mean, I guess it does because she's got like a big round face, but there's like a certain point where you expect multiple chins. If you look at Chantal and how she carries weight on her face, she has like 4 or 5 chins. Like she's got like a kind of neck fat where if you like pinch right around her throat, you would have like a handful of fat. It's just for some reason it's like her face doesn't carry her weight. It all goes to her arms, like right above her elbows. And in celebration of Ramadan, I got some clips from Amy Ramadan too, which I've not seen these either. So I just got like a list of stuff to poke at. Since I've been busy, I've been a busy bee. My job is my beauty. It is who I am, and I wear it to please my God. God wants you to cover yourself up. God does
Hi
not want to
guys.
see you.
I just thought, today would be a great day to come on and answer your guys' questions that you have had regarding my conversion to my religion that I am. And sorry. Okay. My
How long
screen
is
got really
this?
dark there for a minute. I'm like,
20
anyways.
seconds. I would speed it up. Let me see if I have timestamps for this. Oh, I do have timestamps for this. Okay. I would like to speed it up, but I know a lot of people listen to my streams on like time and a half already because it's like I speak slowly and I pause to think before I speak because I'm a very I always say the right thing at the right time. I never say horrible retarded shit constantly.
I thought that this would be like the perfect time to just sit and share my story, and that way then it can definitely answer some of your guys' questions. And again, if you guys have more questions, just shoot them towards me and I'll answer them. So I want to begin this video by making it very clear that I am not sharing this video to push my choice of faith upon anybody. I simply am explaining how I converted to Islam by my choice for your guys's questions and curiosity. And so I just want to make that very, 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 very clear that I will never push my religion upon anybody. That is not my job. I'm here to answer questions, share my story because I've been asked, and then leave it at that. If anybody has any further questions after my video, you guys are more than welcome to message me.
Just stop there and go to 227. I guess that's not interesting. Her just saying, email me if you want to. After all that, saying, I'm not pushing this on anyone, but if you want to know more about Islam, email me.
Yes, I converted June 14th of 2013. And when I did that, prior to even the thought of converting, I did a lot of research. I didn't even know what Islam was, to be honest, until after I went to Egypt and was really like focusing on my husband, and of course he is Muslim, and just watching how he would pray and he would read the Quran, and just seeing how people treated each other and how his mother was. And that's what kind of struck me, because I didn't even know what Islam was. I didn't even hear that before. In fact, I thought Islam, before I knew anything about it, I thought that was Hindu. I thought that was an Indian religion.
What?
And I thought it was Hindu. I didn't even know.
That's the American education system doing you a disservice,
so when I went
lady.
back to Egypt, I started asking Ollie questions, and just trying to get a little bit of information just so I kind of knew what was going on. And I had heard some really negative things about the religion right before I had left to Egypt, but I think that was more of a scare source. I don't think that it was out of love that I was being told the things that I was shared about the religion and stuff. And I think a lot of it was covered through media. So there's that. So when I went to Egypt, I was expecting that, that the religion was a really bad religion for what I only knew of it. But I decided to still go with my heart and still...
What she's saying is that when you go to Egypt or Tunisia or Algeria or any North African country, basically, well, I mean, I guess any place in the Middle East, like, they tell women don't travel alone, especially like at night and stuff. Even if you travel by yourself, or even if you travel with other women, like, you're going to be harassed by the locals because they don't respect women who don't wear hijab and stuff. If you're not covered up properly, they don't respect you. So that's what she was told. But she was with her husband, who was Muslim, so she's not going to have any issues.
Pursue with my relationship with Ollie, and pursue with my heart on where I felt I should be going. So we got married in 2009, and he didn't join me until 2010 to the US, or 2011, sorry. And until then, I just did I did some research and watched some, sorry, I'm shaking my camera, watching some YouTube channels, and just kind of doing my own, like, learning up on it the best I could. And then when he came to the States, I would see him faithfully praying and faithfully sitting down and reading the Quran when it, was the time for him to sit down and read. And his actions spoke of the religion so highly, and the way that he was, and I would tell him, thank you so much for treating me so good. And he would say, for the sake of our religion that I believe in, we are to treat our women as queens, and that's what I'm going to treat you as, nothing less. And
maybe I'm just a bigot, a far right bigot. I don't think that Islam has the best track record regarding treating women. I'm very I don't know. That just seems wrong. But I mean, I guess when you enjoy living in the US and you don't have to deal with Sharia, you don't have to be stoned to death. Is gluttony a sin in Islam? Do they stone fat people to death? I guess it would be hard to stone a fat person to death because they're fat. Can't really crucify them either because they're fat. It'd be hard to kill a fat person with that kind of shit. They wouldn't even be able to carry their crucifix to the hill. They just collapse from exhaustion and die. Well. Where are we at? 740, I am told.
when I married him, I didn't cover, I didn't wear a hijab, I wore tank tops and shorts, and I just lived regular life, and he married me just the way I was. And and I asked him, I said, with me marrying you and me not being what you are, is that gonna make a difference? Because my biggest thing was, I did not want to have to change my life just because I was marrying somebody. And he said, absolutely not. He said, I'm marrying you just the way you are, and if I had an issue with that, then I wouldn't pursue in a relationship. The one and only speculation that he ever had was, he asked me at the very front of our conversation even starting, he said, do you smoke? And I said, no. And which I didn't.
What's weird is that Amy Ramadan and Chantel both do this, where they're both married to black men, and when they talk about the guy, they're always saying, oh, he's so gentle and sweet and passionate and thoughtful and all this shit, right? But you never like see or hear them. You know what I mean? Like BB, and I don't think I don't watch her videos, so I wouldn't know. But I'm pretty sure Amy Ramadan's husband doesn't make that many camera appearances either. So you don't really get to hear them speak and say these things in their own words. It's always how they say them. And how they say them sounds like a romance novel. Like, this is clearly like a fictitious representation of the gentlemanliness of your husband. Because I guarantee you, if you have a conversation with either BB or this woman's husband, neither of them talk like how she presents it to be. So it's just an observation I've made.
And he's like, oh, okay. I said, well, why? And I said, why is that? Would that be a deal breaker? And he said, yeah. And I said, oh, okay. I said, well, no, I'm not a smoker. Now at the time I thought, well, maybe he didn't smoke, but he smokes. But he just doesn't want the wife that he chose to marry to smoke, because of course the women are the ones that carry babies, and so not only would we be hurting ourselves, but we would also be hindering the safety of our babies. And so,
okay, here's a fun question that I would love to see put to a scientific study. Does being fat affect your child? There must be studies about this. Does being like a big fat cow make your baby a retard? Like, I want to see like an IQ differential between children born to women of a normal weight versus children born to women overweight. I want to see if there's like a 10-point margin from children born to fat women. Yes, yes, yes. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yes, 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 yes. It dies on the way out. It does. Weight of the parent affects weight of the child. Huh, I didn't know that. No, it makes them stronger. The salt pickles them. Obesity fucks everything. It literally does. Google it. Yes, it does. Okay, yes, I get it. Thank you, chat.
That was just
Correct
one
it
of his
again.
things, you know, and I had no issue with it because I never smoked. So I was just like, yeah, whatever. So anyways, so when I married him, it was very known that I was not going to change. I didn't have any type of feeling that I was going to convert to his religion. I mean, nothing. And for 4 years, I lived life the way that I did from the day that I married him. I, wore what I wanted, and, I would always be respectful with what I wore, only because that's how I just always am. I would never go out of the house with really short shorts or, tight shirts. It just isn't that's just not me.
I'm sure that's just like a stylistic choice, right? That has nothing to do with the fact that you're like 350 pounds. That's just how you feel about pants. I wasn't supposed to go this far. I'll skip to 10:55. There's something wrong with my mouse where it's like I don't have precision anymore. Like jitters around. It could just be my mouse pad. My mouse pad is like a milky white color now because all my dead skin's been collecting in it for 5 fucking years.
So I was obviously dipping my toes to just find out more about it, and I felt like I was getting pretty close to making a decision that was going to change the rest of my life in the way that something that I was choosing to believe in, but I wanted to do it on the right terms, the right reasons, and not regret something that I was going to choose to do. So that night I had seen these Muslim ladies and they were walking by and all that, and for some reason something in my heart just felt at peace, and I was like, I think I want to convert, but I don't want that word think. I want to be like, I know I want to convert. So I kept pondering that thought for the rest of the night. And then when I went home, I didn't say anything to Ollie about it or nothing like that. I just kept thinking about it. And that night I went to bed and I had a dream. And in my dream, I had a dream that I converted. And it was so real, that when I woke up the next morning, I was like, I know what I want now. And I know what I feel is right. And I know what I have to do. So I went into the bedroom. It was really early in the morning. And I want to say it was like 7 o'clock in the morning. And I woke Ollie up out of sleep. Like, he was dead asleep. And I woke him up and he was like, yeah,
okay.
what's...
Before she continues, this is killing me. I have to tell you a video that I like that no one else in the world likes. It's called Alex Jones Converts to Islam. And it's like a YouTube poop or something. It's like a really shitty, like lazily edited video that's really irritating, I guess. But to me, it is the funniest fucking thing ever made. I really enjoy this video, and I would highly suggest if you're bored after this, go YouTube search Alex Jones Converts to Islam, because I'm sitting over here. Of course, she's telling this heartfelt story about how she connected with her husband over religion, how she converted to Islam. She had dreams and fantasies and spoke to women and did research about Islam. And I'm just thinking, like, Alex Jones Converts to Islam.
What's up? But because of course, why am I waking him up so early? And I said, I need you to sit up and I need to talk to you really quick. And he was like, okay, is everything okay? And I'm like, yeah, everything's fine. I really need to talk to you.
You're saying that?
So he
Okay.
got
Are they
up
saying I should
and,
play it? Fine. Okay. I have no choice in the matter. This video is going to irritate the fuck out of everyone. It's about 3.5 minutes long, but we're going to watch it.
I was like, hey, F you. They're like, oh, yeah. And then I was like, I want to follow Islam. Allah Akbar.
I guess that's the dynamic here.
Actually, yeah. I want to follow Islam. I'm not joking here.
I'm saying this is why I would never.
Can we go back to Allah Akbar? Allah Akbar, chanting Allah Akbar. Oh, yeah. Oh, Allah Akbar. Oh, God, that's going to be awesome. I mean, we're evil folks that think it's weird to call for Islamic jihad and Islamic Sharia law. I mean, this entire attack is on the species. Make no mistake.
I'm a huge deal. Oh my gosh. Like, oh my gosh.
I want to hear more about this.
Okay, maybe.
Anyways, hey, let's get serious here. Just Allah Akbar.
I think that might actually.
I guarantee you, God is great. Allah Akbar. You know, and they just scream. And they just scream. Who bought them TVs, bitch? Tell me that. And they just scream.
And the truth of the matter is, now is the best time to do it.
Because God is great.
So there's so many people out there that are taking advantage of this time.
Because God is great.
In history.
Saudi Arabia, men must accompany women outdoors. Type that in. See it for yourself.
This is why Martin Luther King walked the streets.
He was attacked by people keeping him from marching, and we were attacked.
Exactly. That's why he did it. So I mean,
hey, I want to get out of here. This has got to stop. You know, I'm sitting here with literal lesbians dressed like a guy. I mean, this has reached next level. I mean,
you said this yesterday. I'm dead serious. I was actually thinking about that because at one point I
don't really do that, but if you record me all the time, maybe sometime I'd say something like that. The point is, God is great. Allah Akbar. And God is great. Allah Akbar.
Beat him up in your face.
Move. Get out the way. You see them headlights? You see me knock them curtains down?
Hey, you know what though, Alex? Of all the pathetic products.
Yeah, we're going to plug.
I see that every time.
They say train is off the tracks. Laugh out loud. Hey, they're going to sell out in the next few days. It's the official Islam conversion kit. High quality. There's only 2,000 of these. It was 500 have been sold as of this morning. At $19.95, they're going to probably sell out today. I need to make some money. We're making much money on this. Do yourself a favor. Go check out the new Islam conversion kit. They're already discounted, so support us. One more. I got to get one more because God is great. Yeah, if you want to see the next level, fund us.
Now you know. In time. Oh, it's still going.
If you go out there in the battlefield, you stick your neck out there and you prove your worth in the battlefield, that's how you're going to get noticed.
So the entire time I'm watching Amy Ramadan talk about her conversion, I'm just thinking, Allah from Alex Jones, and it makes my viewing experience better. It may make yours worse.
We were starting to talk, and I said, I want to convert to Islam. And he looked at me a little bit strange, and I think it was because partly he was still trying to wake up. And he was like, really? And I was like, yeah, I want to convert. And he said, are you sure? And he said, the only reason why I'm asking, are you sure, is because I want to make sure, Amy, that you're doing it for you and for your own personal life. You're not doing it for me. I don't want you to convert because of me. You do not have to convert to be married to me. You don't have
the
to change
official
anything
Alex
to be married to
Jones
me.
Islam conversion
You want
kit.
to convert. I want you to convert because it's in your heart and you feel this is the right thing. But if you have any doubts or any reservations, please don't do it until you are fully ready, if this is something you really want to do. I just don't want you to do it because of me. And I was like,
F
no,
you, F
I want to do
you.
this because I want to do this. And he said, okay. So we took a drive, like he got up and took a shower, and we drove up to Portland to a pretty good sized mosque up there. Salem has a mosque, but it's very small. And we went and talked to the sheikh for a minute, and then I said my shahada, which is, you know, declaring that there is only one God, and then, you know, the whole shahada.
She doesn't know the Shahada. I know the Shahada. The Shahada is like one sentence. Like there is one God, and the God is Allah, and the Prophet Muhammad is the one true prophet of, or is the prophet of Allah. Like that's it. It's there is one God, Allah is God, and Muhammad is the prophet of God. That's the entire thing, and she forgot it. How do you forget it? How do you forget the? That's funny. That's funny. That's really funny. This whole meme detour, by the way. Josh knows it because he's Muslim. Thank you. I took I bought the Alex Jones Islam conversion kit a long time. I was lucky. I was one of the first 100 people to get it. It was in limited quantity. Somebody sent me a video, and I'm gonna find it because it was very funny. But I'll let this continue for right now. Where was I'm going to? 1454.
And that day I put the hijab on and I started dressing modestly, and I've never taken my hijab off since. Now, I'm gonna say, was it hard to convert? It was not hard to convert, but it was hard to change my dressing in a way, because when you're a big person, you carry body heat already. Well, I converted in June, so we had the whole summer to go through. And my body was not prepared to be covered with the hijab, with my clothes, you know, covering. And that was a deep challenge. And I would say to Ollie, you know, at times, this isn't fair. Why do women have to, you know, cover, but men don't? And he said, because, you know, honestly, men are more likely to look at a woman in a sexual manner than a woman would sexualize a man in view. And that is why it is called for the women to cover modestly.
There was an article a while back that I remember, and it was like a New York Times article, and it was like, it was trying to say how strong Muslims were, and it had like this really petite black woman with like the curly fro hair put on like a full niqab, which is like the head to toe cover with just the eyes visible, and she was complaining about how humid it was to walk around in New York with that niqab on. And I'm thinking, well, of course it's fucking humid. The shit's made for the desert. You know, it's going to trap humidity. It's going to trap your sweat and stuff. It keeps the heat off of you in the desert because it's black. But in New York, where the air has it's on the water, it's inland, it's on the water. It's you're gonna fucking get humid. No, I'm also reminded, since I was thinking of memes. Funny memes. Someone made, I think Moritsune made this meme. I don't know who made this, but I liked it. Just as a throwback to the Etika video, which is still in my heart for being amazing. Okay, one more time because it's nice and short. If you don't remember, someone posted after Etika died a Fortnite video of is that exact same thing where it's like the Fortnite emotes and their music on a green screen, and he just plastered that over like a picture of Etika, and it's like Etika's dead, cut loose, and it was the dancing and the music. So now I get the Etika treatment because my Twitter account jumped off a fucking bridge. Let's continue.
Because your beauty is for me and me only. You don't want to share that beauty with everybody. That is something special between me and you. Now, would he walk around in a Speedo? Of course not. Well, I would never let him walk around in a Speedo, but I mean, I'm just saying, like, you know, he still dresses properly. He wears shorts down to his knees, and, you know, he wears t-shirts, you know, and stuff. He doesn't wear like tank tops out. But I mean, it took probably a good 2 years of getting through summers where I wasn't about ready to pull my hair out, in the sense that I was really warm. But now it's like my body has adjusted so much that, like, today, I mean, I'm sitting here in the car, it's 78 degrees and it doesn't even faze me at all. Like, I'm really not hot. And in fact, there's been just a very few handful of times where I've walked out of the house and I forgot my hijab, and I will be like, I'm missing something. And then I'll be like, oh my gosh, I forgot my hijab. And I'll turn around and run back in the house and put it on. Or one day I had put my hijab in my purse because I sneak out sometimes from the door if I'm going somewhere without taking the kids. And so I will put it in my purse, and then I'll sneak and get in the car, and then I'll put it on. And one day I got like halfway down the road from my house, and I'm like, God, this breeze feels amazing, but why is it feeling so good? And I'm like, oh, no hijab. So I had to pull over and put my hijab on and stuff. But, you know, I mean, it's not made for women to suffer. Every Muslim lady that I have ever spoke to, with myself included, we don't feel, and I can speak for many of them, well, for millions of them, we do not feel like we are forced to wear what we choose to wear. We choose to wear what we choose to wear because that's what is called in our faith. And if you...
What would Christians wear as like a uniform? I guess the men would wear like a Klansman uniform. I guess a Klansman hood isn't like any different from like a hijab. It's white. I mean, but like the niqab that has like the eye cutouts, basically the exact same thing, except it's black instead of white. I mean, they had uniforms for the women and stuff. The women would definitely wear like jean skirts. There's a locale on the forum named like Pamela Swain, I want to say is her name, and she's like a crazy schizo woman who just posts on the thread like a normal user, but like hates the site. She has like thousands of posts, most of them in different threads, just like rooting for the forum to go down. It's very strange. But she posted a picture of her degree and added me on the forum and said, Josh, you'll never accomplish what I have. You'll never have a degree, you high school dropout, you. And I looked at it and I'm thinking, oh my God, that's the Pensacola Christian College. That was like a 5-minute drive from where I lived in Pensacola. And I remembered that if you drove by that college, you would always see women walking around in these long jean skirts. And I'm thinking, you're one of those fucking weirdos who wears jean skirts because that's fashionable. They have to wear skirts, they can't wear pants, but jeans are fashionable, so they wear jean skirts. So as far as I'm concerned, that's like the Christian hijab is like a jean skirt, because that shit's ugly and it makes you look like a retard. And it's the same thing, really. It makes you unsexy. People can't covet you in a jean skirt.
Invested in your faith, and you truly follow what is called for you, you will do what is called. And so for me, and for the millions of other women that are, you know, Muslims, we don't feel like that is a forced upon thing because our husbands make us do it. You know, my husband couldn't be any better of a husband than I could ever imagine. he respectfully treats me like a queen. And that's not everybody. I'm not speaking for everybody's husbands, because there are some husbands that, struggle with that are, Muslims. Not every Muslim is a perfect Muslim, just like there is not one perfect human being. There's bad people in every religion. And it's so sad, because for the longest time, in the stereotypical way that I was told about Islam was what media has shown, which is obviously Islam is a bad religion. It is.
I'm gonna end it there and move on. But I want to point out that I've heard that argument before, and this is one of the few things that Bill Maher has said consistently over the last years that I find very admirable, because it's especially these days, it's a very, very, very unpopular opinion among progressives in America. But he has always maintained that Islam is a more violent religion than Christianity. And he that always caught him a lot of flack, because people in the US, like the progressives, hate Christianity. And he's been booed by his own audience for saying that Islam is more violent than Christianity. But what I've had conversations with people where they've said something to the effect of saying that ISIS is Islam is like saying that the Westboro Baptist Church is Christianity. That's like, well, if fucking only ISIS was only as bad as the Westboro Baptist Church. It's like a small group of constitutional trolls who all study constitutional law, get in trouble for saying offensive things, and then sue and win. That's like their entire business model. ISIS's business model is burning Christians alive on Easter, and then having their caliphs and religious leaders write books that they're sponsoring countries buy thousands of copies of legally to supply in libraries that nobody's going to read. It's just like it's just a way to get money to them legally by selling books. And it's just like, if only the issue was as bad as the Westboro Baptist Church. So I've always not been very persuaded by that argument that there's bad people in every religion. One more video. This one's about calling out the kiwi farms, and I have a late timestamp on it. This is like a live stream. I remember this. I didn't watch this. I just archived it.
What, honey? That one. So I'm trying to figure out how to say this. Yesterday, I had a strange email. And in this email, I was told that I needed to heed a warning. And I read the email, and it was talking about this Kiwi Farms and the dark web, and how they have a forum for me, and how people write things.
The funny thing about Amy Ramadan, she's not very interesting, but the things she says makes me think of more interesting things. Do you guys remember years ago, like in 2015, Candace Owens, who is now famous, wanted to make a website called Social Autopsy. And it was supposed to be like a doxing website for like bigots and bad people on the internet. Like if someone was harassing you or something, you could throw their personal information up on Social Autopsy. And it's supposed to be like a crowdsourced social credit score type thing. And then she became like a right-wing person during the 2016 election. But she got doxxed on the forum, and she went on to some TV show, and she said, yeah, Kiwi Farms is kind of dark web. And it's like, that was people don't remember this, but Candace Owens like got her start by being this weird troll complaining about trolls and wanting to dox all the trolls, and who called the Kiwi Farms dark web. And then at some point she became like, this super pro-Trump based black woman or something, and she married, who the fuck did she marry? She married a white guy, I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure she got bleached. I'll look that up. Candace Owens' husband. Who is it? I know she's married. Who is she with? Oh, this is her. Inside the Trump winery wedding of conservative activist Candace Owens. Who is this guy? He's very famous. I feel I should know this. See? He looks like a fucking German war propaganda poster. What the fuck is his name? With married Britt Farmer, son of a baron over Labor Day. He does. He looks like fucking propaganda. Of haircut and shit. Like, this is what you fight for, German man. No, not that. I can't scroll it anymore to hide her. You get the picture.
And take screenshots and, you know, it's like, I don't know. It's like a forum that you can go on and bash people, I guess, basically. I had never heard of, excuse me, let me back up. I have heard of Kiwi Farms, but I've never been on their site. So I didn't even know how to navigate this thing. But this person that emailed me, which I'm keeping anonymous, even though I'm pretty sure I know really who it was. I'm keeping this person anonymous because I believe that they gave me a false name, which is fine. They can do that. But, but this person told me to heed my warning that there's people after me, and I'm not missing everybody's comments. I'm just trying to explain this part because I get too sidetracked and I will take 5 hours to get this out. So basically they were saying I need to heed my warning. There's people after me, or they're coming after me.
She's very
They're going to
ineloquent.
get CPS involved. They're going to get animal control out and all of this stuff. So I continued to read the message, and I was just like, okay, you know, I mean, I excused it basically because what am I going to do? What am I going to do if somebody wants to write things or send CPS to my house or send animal control to my house? What can I do? I can't stop that. I can't stop it. I can show them and I can prove to the people that come out to my home, but I don't have to stop them because I can't. That's the part of the web that we can't do that. So then a little bit later, I had a phone call. And the person that called me was the person that emailed me. We talked for a while. I'm not 100% on this part, so that's why I'm being kind of careful how I say this, because I don't want to, if the person is sincere, I don't want to excuse it. But if this person is playing games, I want to blow it. So this person talks to me and, you know, basically says, you know, Amy, I just don't think you really are taking the seriousness that this whole thing is.
What is she talking about?
Which, in a sense, I'm not. Because, again, I can't stop it. I can't stop. If someone's going to try and hurt me, I can't stop it. If it happens, it's going to happen. There's nothing I can do to stop it. I can protect myself to the best of my ability, but I can't stop it.
Look at that screw. That screw's working.
Yeah. So, anyways, so I was just like, okay, you know, they sent me the link.
You know what's funny is that, you know, Nick Rakita always has he has like 8 fucking kids, right? So he usually during his streams at some point will have an interruption where one of his kids comes in and wants something, and you know he gets them out of the room pretty fast, but he's always very nice about it. She's such a bitch to her own kids. It's like He's like a toddler age child from the sound of it. He's gonna babble. You know, babies babble. They like to talk because they don't know how to yet. So they're training that out. Maybe if you're irritated by your child, you shouldn't be live streaming and bitching about internet shit. Just an idea.
Email, they sent me the link, so I clicked on it. And it took me to the Kiwi Farms thing, and I started reading it. And, you know, to be honest with you, I laughed as I read most of the stuff that was being said about me.
There's a baby bird.
Oh, I legit laughed, you guys. They made GIFs or GIFs, I don't know what it's called, of me when I was working out, and I'm going, and all this stuff. I laughed my butt off. I almost pissed my pants laughing so hard. I didn't take it in a negative manner like they were, I think, hoping I would. But I questioned myself, did this person have the best intentions
She totally
to
doesn't
tell me
care,
this,
you
to
guys.
send me the links, to do all that? Or were they doing that to make sure that I seen it? But it didn't do what I think they were hoping it was going to do. Talk about me. I know I'm fat. I know I have issues. I know that I have problems. My family's not perfect. We have flaws. I've had flaws in my past. You know, they doxed my information on Kiwi Farms. They put my address out there. They've put my phone number out there. They've gotten all my records, my public records. They've posted all of that out. And I don't know if they realize I told people I told people not too long ago, and no, it wasn't that I legit was hiding my criminal record, but I didn't share it because this was back in 2005. 2005, you guys, we're in almost 2020. I didn't think I needed to pull up things that happened in 2005 and share it with my YouTube channel that I just created a year and a half ago.
Is she gonna explain what she
They
did?
made
Because
sure
I
to
know
pull
she
that
did.
up and say that I have this huge criminal record, which the only criminal record that I have is a misdemeanor, which I've told you guys about. And
Say it. Say it.
I don't know what that is, Ezra.
It's like gas. Like
Uh,
a gas thing.
No, that's not a gas thing, but
Say
that's
it.
pretty smart that you thought that was a gas thing. Anyways, the misdemeanor is a theft too. And I told you guys about it, that I shoplifted at Walmart. I was a dum-dum, and I did a stupid thing in 2005. Have I done it again? Absolutely not. Oh,
She
and
punched
then
a
they had to
cop.
make sure that they pulled up my bankruptcy. Well, since everybody wants to know about my bankruptcy,
Tell us.
yeah, I filed bankruptcy. When I got my divorce from my first marriage, I had to take on all of the debt in order for him to sign the documents to get a divorce.
She
Yeah.
she got dark side filled. She married someone who went bankrupt after or who had debt. After she didn't get a prenup after they got divorced, she had half the debt that she would never ever be able to pay out of, so she had to go bankrupt. That's like the shittiest fucking thing you can do to someone is marry them when you have like all this debt and not get any kind of prenup.
To get the divorce, I had to take all the bad credit. So I was stuck with over $60,000 worth of debt
Jesus.
that I was supposed to pay off. How is there's no way. I would be paying on that for the rest of my life. So when I contacted my lawyer, I was like, what do I do? I'm never going to get this out from paid underneath me. It's going to continue to pile up. So what am I supposed to do? And he said, Amy, the best thing I can suggest to you is file a Chapter 7, get it processed, and you're going to have to start over. Yes, it's going to affect you for a while, but you know what? It's better to let it affect you now, because okay, to let it bother or to let it affect you now than waiting and continuing to let all this keep building up. So that's what I
That's
did.
probably true, because if it was 15 years ago, it's like whatever. All right, I think that's enough of the videos. I feel relaxed now. All my stress is gone. It's like a meditation. Oh, speaking of, I don't know. I didn't get to talk about the correct me if I'm wrong, but I didn't get to talk too much about the DMCA stuff this week, did I? Oh man, this has been a long week. If I've not even spoken about if I didn't get to talk about the DMCA's last week, I must have talked about the DMCA's last week. Let's see, when were these threads made? Monday, Sunday. Well, no. Okay, I didn't get to talk about them then. Or I only got to talk about the one, because that happened on a Friday. So here's the deal with the DMCA stuff. Anisa Joma, who is iDubbbz's girlfriend, I'm just going to recap it. I might have talked about the first batch of DMCAs a while ago. I definitely have. So Anisa Joma, iDubbbz's girlfriend, has been filing DMCA after DMCA, and to clarify, not to me, to search engines to try and de-index her thread, saying that these search engines violate her copyright. And of course, every time this happens, I file an appeal. But I get email replies from Google saying, we've decided not to take action at this time. You can familiarize yourself with fair use at this URL. And I'm like, motherfuckers, if you are going to sit there and you're going to act like judge and jury deciding which DMCA complaints are legally valid, and you're not going to forward my counters to them, even though I am including my address and stuff, I'm saying you motherfuckers are taking on the job of publisher at that point, because you're not just like, or editor at that point, because you're not just like, you're accepting DMCA complaints on my fucking behalf. You're making the claim that, on their behalf. It's like, so you're making judgmental decisions that you're not just acting as intermediary. And I got a reply back from Google at that point, and it was obviously not like a template letter. It was like a form letter saying, if we get a counter, we forward it to the other party, and if they don't respond in 10 days, it's thrown out. So I don't know. I've asked for more clarification on that, but it really is bullshit, because Google has this policy now about what they call private photographs. And if you can submit a DMCA for hosting private photographs, or not a DMCA, but like a complaint, not like a legal thing, to Google or search engines and say that this person or this website's hosting my private photos under my name. And it's supposed to be like an anti-revenge porn thing. But especially in the case of Anisa Joma, number one, she's not naked in any of them. Number two, these are not private photographs. These are commercial products. I'm criticizing your fucking pornography. It's like a catalog at that point. You don't get to decide that these images of you are leaked and that people don't have a right to possess them, because you sold them. And as a product on the free market, I should be able to say whatever the fuck I want to about your shitty fucking images and your shitty fucking tit implants. I'm so, the internet's becoming more and more centralized, and all these, it's like 50% of web traffic is handled by Facebook, Google, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram. It's like, and then, Weibo and WeChat and stuff in China. And it's like, why do these websites get to decide everything? When you try to host a website like a new image board, it gets slammed by all this shit because it doesn't have the immune system that other big websites have developed over the years. And nobody publishes tools on how to bootstrap for that kind of negative attention. It really is... It really is it's a financial strain is what it is, because the credit card processors, I was waiting for a reply from the credit card processors. I had my guy who worked doing banking contact them. He's not gotten a reply back. I contacted them and asked for a phone number on Friday. They've still not gotten a reply back. It's like these people don't even want to fucking talk, They don't want to answer complaints. They don't want to have to say they don't want to be accountable for their actions. Everyone says they just follow orders. I just got my shit from the sponsoring bank. I got my shit from the underwriting team. They got their shit from the guidelines. It's never like a name, but there is a name. Rest assured, for every problem in your life, there is a name and an address attached. Even if they want to be very discreet about it, there is someone responsible somewhere. But it's becoming it's like a financial game. It's like if you want to host something on the internet, you have to own this, that, and that. Getting to the point where I could even think about hosting an image board. Having what I do, the internet resources that I do, has taken half a decade. Nobody with limited resources could even dream of starting something that contentious these days because of how constricted it is. It's very annoying. You know, I don't know. The stream's gone on long enough. I just want to wrap up with that because someone quoted me. There's on 9chan there's a board dedicated to me, and I can't tell if it's actually supposed to be genuinely flattering or if it's supposed to be like poking fun at me. But someone said post your favorite Josh quotes, and their opening one was like something I said a while ago about how no matter, even if you're not like a super hacker, even if you're not like in a position of like politics or whatever, it's like if you really want to help, you should always find ways to make these things not possible. Whatever capacity your job is, doesn't matter if you're like running like a business for, because there's that guy who said the N-word, or no, he didn't even say the N-word. He just ooked at a black guy who was yelling at him. And that video of him ooking got him fired in his from his garbage dump company. He got fired from being a trash man because he ooked and it got recorded. And it's like, stop. Fucking stop. Stop. Everyone should stop being such a bitch all the fucking time. We used to have a day where private and professional was like people had their things that they did that were controversial and scandalous all the time, and it didn't affect their jobs. For now, for some reason, it's like there is no line. It's like the fucking Fight Club thing where it's like you're not your job, but today you very much are, more so than ever. It's like there is, like, your professional and private life never separate anymore. It's like your brand, and nobody gets hired anymore. So it's not like you actually have a job. You get contracted. You work 36 hours a week on an informal basis, and they can just stop contracting you at any time. So you have to keep your professional reputation up all the fucking time. It's like, it's so tiring. My life is hard, but everyone else's life is worse. Because how miserable must it be to have so little option? Because anything you do gets you fucked. Because you got your debt, you got your house debt, your car debt, your student loan debt, you got all this fucking credit card debt, and you are stuck to your job, and you know if you say anything offensive on the internet, you get fired from your job. Because people will complain to your work, and your work will be afraid of negative reviews on Yelp, so they can't keep you around. They gotta make amends, they gotta do appeasement as much as possible, they gotta Chamberlain that shit as hard as possible. They gotta fire you, and then you're stuck with all this fucking debt, and you might lose your car, your house, everything, but you can't lose your student loans because you'll be paying that shit off for the rest of your life. Meanwhile, me, Mr. Funny Man over here, the loser, the high school dropout, the crazy man who's got nothing to his name but a bunch of shitty sites no one cares about. I have no debt. I do have debt, but I have enough money to pay it off outright. I don't have to worry about it. I have no assets. I have nothing. I'm a crazy person, and I don't have to worry, because I know at any time, like at any time, I can drop off the face of the earth. I get death threats and stuff. I can just go to a court and change my name, get it sealed because I get death threats, and I can say, look, you have to seal it because I'm under threat. I have credible threats against me, and then I can become John Smith or whatever. And go back. I can go work at Cloudflare. I know I know a whole lot about that. And that it's an option. I don't know. If you want to help, stop being such a bitch. I guess that's my advice to everyone. All it takes is people to grow balls. For some reason, nobody has any balls anymore. They're all afraid. Stop being so afraid. Make me sick. All right. All right. That's enough of today. Let me find this song. What's the name of this? Oh. Is it called Self-Control? What's the name of the song? Aha! All right. See you guys next week. ManAtTheInternet.com. Wait. Play the song I want. There we go.
Against a new tomorrow, so I guess I'll just believe it that tomorrow never comes. I said night, I'm living in the forest of a dream. I know the night is not as it would seem. I must believe in something, so I'll make myself believe it. This night will never go.